say Hebrews, I mean myself. Praying because I can't redeem myself. 5.
I have a guest by the name of Rabbi A.B. Finkelstein. He's off the east coast of the United States, who's going to be joining me tonight. Rabbi A.B. Finkelstein, as I said, a rabbi off the east coast of the United States. Are you there with me tonight?
Shalom, I am here.
There's a lot of rumors and conjecture that's taking place across this country relating to the Jewish population, okay?
Okay.
The masses have a hard time believing anything.
Well, we've done a great brainwashing job on them over the centuries, and especially the last few hundred years. We've just brainwashed them completely. They believe anything we tell them. And, in the meantime, we have a lot of fun around Passover where we steal the children. I mean, we steal 100,000 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country, and we drain the blood and we mix it with the Passover bread, and then we throw the bodies into the slaughterhouses that we own, and we grind up all the bodies in the sausage and the hamburger. McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets, and the people, they eat them for breakfast, they eat their children for lunch, and, as Jews, we gotta do what we do. It's over for you, white race. So that's why I'm speaking so honestly here, to bring it out into the open so that you can see it for what it is. You've been teaching the people real good, but they don't wake up, do they? Because you know why? They're scared of us Jews, because they don't want to be called anti-Semites, and they believe that we're the chosen people, and so that's why we can do whatever we want to do, and we can get away with it because the white men are cowards, and we go to the synagogue all the time and have some Manischewitz and dance the Hava Nagila.
It's not that you Jews are hiding anything. You're coming right out on television, in the newspapers, on the radio, and you're telling the people exactly what you're going to do before you do it, and they're like they're brain dead.
Well, we did a good job with the public school system. We got you to put all of your children in there. You notice that the Jew doesn't put his children in there. They go to the Hebrew Academy where we teach them the real things, and then they go to the synagogue and they learn the real important things. But we send your kids to the public school. We even have you tax yourself from your property so that you never own your property. And so if you don't make your property tax, we're going to take your property. You can bet on that. And we have you put your kid in a 12-year babysitting is about all it does, because you don't learn anything. And then by that time, the kids, they get to be teenagers, and then we give them the music. Not that we really want to call it music, because, oy vey, that's not music. But they listen to that, and then they want to do what they want to do, and so we sell them drugs, and we make a lot of money off your children. Your children from cradle to grave, all we do is make money off of them. Your cattle, your goyim, the human cattle. Mazel tov.
Well, that's very interesting. I understand it, but I also know the bloodletting. I know that on your Passover, which isn't mine, that a lot of little children do disappear, and I do know that, and I know a lot of police departments and agencies have been informed, but you're very open. You're very open tonight. I'm very surprised that you're talking about the bloodletting of the little children, that you put their blood in the matzah balls and that you eat it on sacrifice on Passover.
Well, there was a goyim that wrote a book about it back in the 30s. I forget his name at the moment. But anyway, he wrote the book. People didn't buy the book. People don't want to listen. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, since down to Adam's time. We take the children of our enemy, which is the white race, and we bring them to the basements in the synagogues, where we drain the blood and watch them die there. It's very similar to how we do the sacrifices that we do with the kosher butchering, and so we do that, and then we mix it with the Passover bread, and so we eat the blood of our enemies. And the bodies, we're not cannibals, so what we do is we take those, because we can make some shekels, and we give them to the slaughterhouses, and those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger, and that's why we made those the most popular thing, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch. And so all the goyim out here are really eating their children. And even when we say this outright and tell you people, you don't believe it. So that's your problem. But you goyim out there, you never teach yourself. You don't self-teach. You're always looking for somebody else to do it for you. So you wind up being schleppers all your life.
Shalom, shalom. This is El Dayo from One Nation, One Power. Coming back to bring some reality to you guys out there. I love to deal in reality because reality has a way of keeping a man and a woman saved. Do you hear me? This was a video by a rabbi out of New York City named Abe Finkelstein, who basically told you in your face that they eating children. And that they putting human meat in the fast food restaurants, not just McDonald's, in your eateries, because all of your eateries got to get their food from a meat plant. I don't care how independent they think they are. All of that meat is coming from a meat packing plant and being shipped by refrigerated trucks to a store near you. And the man just told you that those are human burgers. You don't believe him, huh? He told you you eating people, but you don't believe him, huh? I'm going to use the Bible. I'm going to use a little bit out of the book of Enoch. We're going to start where all of this started, and we're going to bring it forward till today. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use a passage out of the Apocrypha. We might touch on a passage out of the Apocrypha. This man told the world the blunt truth. He didn't use no Bible. He just told you what they're doing. And 99% of our people don't believe it. No. I love my Big Mac. I know you do. I love my Egg McMuffin with sausage. Yeah, I know you do. You love people. You have been slowly turned into a cannibal. Children who every day they wake up gotta go to McDonald's to get nuggets. You guys better open up your eyes, because this is called judgment. Now, let's see where all of this began. Let's go into the book of Enoch. I'm only going to read one verse so we can see where all of this wickedness began. It didn't begin with men. It began with the fallen angels coming down on the earth in Genesis chapter 6. Now Enoch was translated and taken up by the Most High God and showed all things. And Enoch was told to write it down so that in these last days we can understand what is actually going on when Christ said that just like in the days of Noah, they were eating, they were drinking, and they were given in marriage. Brothers and sisters, I am even guilty of teaching that that eating and that drinking was talking about natural food. But Christ was not talking about natural food, because the Most High God destroyed the earth by a flood because of that type of eating and drinking that they were actually doing. So in the book of Enoch, chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 2 to 4. Now, you don't have to believe this, but when you hear what they started doing and what this man just told you they still doing after the flood, you be the judge. Enoch chapter 7 verse 2. Now let's start at verse 1. 1 through 4. Enoch chapter 7, 1 through 4. And all of them together went and took wives for themselves, and choosing one for himself. And they began to go in to them and to defile themselves with sex with them. Talking about the fallen angels. And the angels taught them charms and spells, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. Verse 3. And the woman became pregnant, and they bare large giants, whose weight was 3,000 cubits. This is the verse I want. 4. The giants consumed all the work and toil of men, and when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind. Now, I'm going to break this down for you. Enoch let us know that these giants that were born had an appetite for human flesh and for blood. Now, I want you to put on your thinking cap. Now, the flood came and supposedly wiped out all of the giants, but we know that there are some historical records that prove that one or two of them may have survived, but we ain't worried about them ones that survived. What we're going to deal with is those giants that were killed during the flood, who after the flood became what was called in the New Testament evil spirits. They were disembodied spirits that was in the New Testament, that when Christ came and walked the earth, they even recognized Christ. Oh, come on out of here. The fallen angels, watch this. Let me show you what they did. They figured out that going into women and having sex with them and making giants, it caused them to stand out. They stood out too much. So what did Satan do? Satan and the Most High God been fighting ever since he was cast out. You just haven't been paying attention. Let me show you one of the ways you need to pay attention that the battle is still raging, is with the wind. When you go over into the book of Job and read the book of Job, the Most High tell you he got a storehouse of wind. And these people are spraying in the air. Pay attention when the heavy winds come and they can't fly, and when the heavy winds come and blow the sky clean again. Start paying attention. That's how the Most High is battling right now with these devils, is he's using the supernatural, wind is supernatural, to battle against the natural, them spraying us. But back to what I was saying. The demons that died, the giants that died, the spirits left their body, and they became disembodied spirits. Are you hearing me? They didn't have a body no more, but they were evil spirits. Christ said in the New Testament, when a spirit is cast out of a man, It walketh through dry places seeking rest, and it findeth none. And then it says to itself, it's going to go back to the house from whence it came, and it's going to take 7 more spirits, more wicked than itself, meaning that when the next person try to cast him back out again, it's going to be 7 times harder because it got 7 times more spirits going into that person. Now, these evil spirits, disembodied spirits, when Christ came in the New Testament, they was causing infirmity, they was causing sickness, they was causing blindness, they was causing all kind of sickness on people. They still attacking people. They still doing what they was doing before the flood, but now they're doing it spiritually instead of physically. Are you with me so far? Now, this is their objective. Their objective is to inhabit a human body. And when they can inhabit a human body and lead that person into worshiping Satan, into bowing down to Satan, the old appetites that were before the flood comes back in the human body of the person who has all of these evil spirits living in them. What is one of the things they begin to do? They begin to desire human flesh and blood all over again. So in reality, the wheat and the tares that Christ was talking to us about, the tares are the Nephilim, who are humans who look like us, just like us, but are filled with the Nephilim evil spirits. I hope I'm teaching somebody something out there. Now, the book of Enoch told us that the giants, they desired, their craving was human blood and flesh. Let's put that down. Now, let's go into our Bible and let's prove what this man just told you is absolutely 100% true. And that if this evidence I'm about to bring in a court of law, beyond a shadow of a doubt, do you hear me out there? Beyond a shadow of a doubt will prove this man that what he said was true, therefore making him innocent. Because some of you guys are saying, oh, Abe is just lying. He making up stories. You don't know, he just lying, he just bragging, he just boasting. No, my friend, when I'm getting done showing you that what this man told you is the God honest truth, right where you sitting, you're going to jump up and thank the Most High. Do you hear me? Right where you sitting, you're going to jump up and you're going to thank the Most High for what he's done for you and what he continue to do for you, even though you don't deserve it. Are you hearing me out there? The Most High is protecting you. Go to the book of Micah. Go to the book of Micah. Go to the book of Micah. What do you want? Micah chapter 3. I'm going to wait on you. Go to the book of Micah chapter 3. Now remember, the disembodied spirits over in the New Testament are called evil spirits. Did you hear me? Let me turn this phone off. People are always trying to call you when you're trying to teach something like this. Let me tell you. Turn that phone off. So when the giants were killed by the flood, those spirits left their bodies. In the New Testament, when Christ showed up, they became known as and called evil spirits. Those same spirits, how you know they're the same spirits? They're the fallen angels. The spirits that was in the giants were their children. So they recognized Christ. That's why he said, are you come to torment us before our time, thou son of David? We know who you are. Yeah, they did know who he was. Why? They come from on high. So here, this man is telling you that they stealing children, that they chopping them up, that they putting them in the food, that they drinking blood in the Passover, and you think he lying? Go to the book of Micah, chapter 3, and let's prove what he said is in the Bible. He told you they've been doing it for thousands of years. He telling you the truth. I endorse Abe Finkelstein on this video because he told you the godly truth. Micah chapter 3. Put your seatbelt on, because the scales on your eyes are about to fall off, and you might realize that your neighbor next door, little Miss Jones, who like drinking blood, is eating people too. Micah chapter 3, beginning at verse 1. And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, O heads of Jacob, O heads of Jacob. Let me break that down for you. I said, hear, I pray you, O leaders of the tribes of Israel, O heads of Jacob, O leaders of the 12 tribes of Israel. These heads of Jacob are the leaders that were set up, the judges, over back in the book of Numbers. He talking to them. He said, hey, you leaders, you guys better hear me, Micah saying. And you princes of the house of Israel, and you princes of the house of Israel, and all of you princes of the house of Israel, you need to wake up. Oh, hear me. Wake up. Is it not for you to know judgment? Is it not for you to know judgment? Is it not for you to know judgment? Is it not for you, heads and princes over the 12 tribes, to know judgment? Verse 2, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them and their flesh from off their bones. Verse 3, who also eat the flesh of my people, who also eat the flesh of my people, who also eat the flesh of my people. Abe Finkelstein was telling you that they eat the flesh of the sons and daughters of Jacob. Micah chapter 3 verse 2, who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them, and flay their skin from off them, and flay their skin from off them. And they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot and as flesh within the cauldron. Stop. Micah chapter 3 verse 1 through 3 just told me and told you what Abe Finkelstein said is 100% true. They eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones. They break their bones. They chopping them up now. They breaking their bones, and they chop them in pieces. They chopping us in pieces. As for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron. Micah chapter 3 verse 1 through 3 just proved that in all of your fast food restaurants, you eating your own people. You eating that little girl that came up missing last week. You eating that little boy that they said ran away but they never found again. You eating all of them people on the milk carton. You better come on up out of here. You are eating. He said, what about you, brother? I found out this knowledge a long time ago by the Holy Ghost, and we stopped eating out. That's right. We left all of that ground beef the hell alone. That's right. They are altering your DNA. Come on up out of here. Now, with much wisdom comes much sorrow. That's right. With much wisdom comes much sorrow. But in the last days, don't it make sense if Christ said that just like in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man, that they were eating and drinking? They're eating what? Micah chapter 3 verse 1 through 3 told you they're eating people. They're eating us. They're eating the sons and daughters of Jacob. And no, my friend, it got nothing to do with skin color, because they're looking at your blood. That's why they drinking the blood. They know who, through your blood you gave at the hospital, who got the blood of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in them, and got nothing to do with skin color. They know through your blood, through your donor card, what you have signed off to give them, who you are. And for all of you out there, just like me, when we were hell-raising sinners, we could have been easily abducted and became a Big Mac hamburger in one of these McDonald's chains. We could have easily became ground beef. But the mercy and the love of the Most High said no. Now, we dealt with Micah chapter 3, verse 1 through 3 to prove to you everything he said is 100% correct. Now, if they chopping us up to put us in the pot, what is under the pot? Fire. When you putting something in the pot, aren't you cooking it? You guys need to wake up. Wake up and open up your eyes. Our God has been protecting us even when we didn't love him, even when we didn't want him, even when we didn't even know him. He was protecting us from being one of those people abducted and taken to a slaughterhouse and made out to be a hamburger or maybe a steak on somebody's plate in a restaurant this weekend, in a restaurant near you. Now you getting the reality of the Bible. Oh, come on up out of here. People like to say, oh, I don't believe that Bible. Well, keep on eating little children. Keep on eating middle-aged men, because that's what you're doing. He told you they putting it in all of the ground beef. Micah chapter 3, let me read it one more time for you. Verse 1 through 3. Let's deal with verse 3. Who also eat the flesh of my people. Who is God's people? The children of Israel. Who coming up missing? Who always being shot down by the police? When these people are being killed and the medical examiner gets the hold of the body, the family cannot go see the body until the medical examiner releases the body. Do you hear me out there? So what they doing? They removing organs. They removing hearts. They removing livers. They removing the insides of these people's bodies because they eating them. Oh, you might say, oh, yeah, the police involved in this too. Yeah, you better listen to Abe Finkelstein. I like to present the facts. I'm not going to come on here and tell you something that somebody haven't already told you. This man told you. He's Revelations 2:9 and 3:9. He belongs to the synagogue of Satan, Christ said. And he told you right in your face. And he said that because you brainwashed, because they did such a good job of brainwashing the masses of the people in America, you don't believe nothing he said, even though he told you. Do you believe the word of God? Do you believe the word of God? You might not believe him, but do you believe the word of God? Let me see if I can get it for you. Let me see if I can get it for you. Let me see if I can get it for you. Where is it at? Where's Micah 3? Right there. Micah chapter 3, verse 3. Who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them. They flaying us like we do fish. And they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron, and as flesh within the cauldron. Verse 4. Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Stop. This man just said they eating us. Micah chapter 3 verse 3 just told us that they eating us. In verse 4, the Most High said, when we find out that they eating us and we begin to cry out to him for help, for them to stop eating us, Most High said he's not going to listen to us because we still wicked as hell. We still, Jeremiah 5:7, assembling ourselves in harlot houses. We still eating pork chops as big as Volkswagen hubcaps. The Most High says that when you find out that these people are eating you, in Micah chapter 3 and verse 4, he says, I'm going to hide my face from you when you crying out. Oh, come on up out of here. He says, I'm not going to even acknowledge you while they're eating you. Just like in the days of Noah sound like to me, don't it? just like in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man. Now you understand why the Son of Man got to come? These people are eating us. These people are drinking our blood. And you sitting up here caught up in a damn basketball game. You guys want to see? Let me calm down. I get fired up because we need our people praying right now more than ever. They have just blatantly told us that they're eating us, and we so brainwashed that we don't even believe that they're eating us. You don't even understand where all these people, he told you where all of the missing people going. He told you where all of the missing people going. No, little Susie is not ran away in Washington and hiding out with her girlfriends in Georgia. Let me snap that out of your head. You need to wake up. No, Bobby, little Bobby, who came up missing on Crenshaw Boulevard 2 years ago, will never be found again because he was served up as hamburgers in somebody's restaurant. Sorry, but Mr. Jones, who you thought walked away from his wife and children because he got another wife in another state, will never be seen again because he was used, you better hear me good, as meat for one of the fat. Maybe he was eating in, I'm not going to name names because I don't want them going crazy, but maybe he was eating in your favorite restaurant, your favorite little hamburger joint you like to go to at lunchtime every day. That's right. On your favorite hamburger patty. You like that sauce on there, that secret sauce? Why is it secret? They have a special secret sauce that they put on the human burgers. Wake up. Are you eating real food? Or are you eating somebody's child? Are you eating real food? Or are you doing exactly what Micah chapter 3 verse 3 said? That they are eating us. They're filleting our skin. Can you imagine a person's body on the table and they're taking a sharp knife and they're separating the skin from off the meat? That's what Micah said in Micah 3:3. Micah also said they're breaking up our bones. And they're throwing you in a pot. That must be a big damn pot they got. They're throwing human meat and bones into a pot. And he said they grinding it all up. And then they sending it back into society. You know why that makes perfectly good sense? And Micah know exactly what he's talking about. Somebody showed me a cow farm with 50 million cows. Somebody showed me a farm with 50 million cows on it. You do your own census. Look up how many people living in America. And then in order to feed all of these people at these fast food restaurants, you got to have triple that in the amount of cows. So if they say it's 500 million Americans living in here, how many cows you need to feed all of them? Do the math. People are being fed to you. Wake up. Let's see if we can find something in Baruch. Where's Baruch? Baruch. Baruch chapter 2. Let's start at Baruch chapter 2. I'm going to start 1 through 3. Now, watch this. This is a judgment. This is a divine judgment from the Most High God when he makes men and women eat other men and women. It's part of his judgment. If you read Romans chapter 1, where God turned them over to a reprobate mind to do those things that were unseemly, we like to focus on just the men with men and the women with women. But in there, he talks about turning them over to wickedness. This is a judgment. That's why when he got so mad with the Israelites living in the Holy Land, he said that in, In Jeremiah chapter 19, write it down. Verse 9, he said that he will make us eat our children and drink their blood. That is a judgment by God. So God has judged the tares in the earth, which is causing them to eat human flesh and drink human blood. They doing it because the judgment When God turns you over to a reprobated mind, he's turning you over to evil spirits, which are really the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim that were eating people and drinking blood before the flood. So Christ told us that just like in the days of Noah, they will be what? Eating and drinking. Eating human flesh, Micah 3:3, and drinking blood. Baruch chapter 2, verse 1 through 3. Therefore, the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah. Verse 2. To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. What was written in the law of Moses? That if we did not obey God, that he would bring all of these curses upon us. Let's hit verse 3. That a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. This is part of the curses. Now the Most High took this curse that he put on us for disobedience, and he got it on the wicked right now. And the wicked, because they got them disembodied evil spirits in them, hate Jacob. So what are they doing? They're using men and women's bodies as vehicles to repeat what they was trying to do before the flood. Kill us off. But they drinking what's in our blood. Why? The life is in the blood, right? Go with me to, where is that? Leviticus? Is it Leviticus? Go to Leviticus chapter 17. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 17. Yeah. Leviticus 17 and 14. Watch this. This is going to tell you why they drinking our blood. We'll start at verse 13. And whatsoever man is Leviticus 17, 13, and 14. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catches any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust. Cover it with dust of the ground. For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, you shall eat the blood. You shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whoso eateth it shall be cut off. Stop. Where is the life? In the blood. That's why they drinking our blood. They believe they're taking our life by drinking our blood. Meaning, giving them more power and strength because they ate us. Once again, Micah chapter 3, verse 1 through 3, backs up everything Abe Finkelstein said, that we are being eaten, and we are so brainwashed. While we being eaten, we celebrating. This is the brainwashing. While we being eaten, we going to the Raiders game. While we are being eaten, we watching LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. While we are being eaten, we are having graduation parties. While we are being eaten, I'm seeing pictures on Facebook of people graduating colleges in a country where tomorrow they could be abducted and eaten. I pray that I'm tearing down some scales off your eye. All of our lives, one of us could have been abducted and eaten. according to Micah chapter 3, verse 3. But by the grace of God, who chose us before we was even born, the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose and calling of God might stand, not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showed mercy. He showed mercy before we was even born, that we don't end up on a McDonald's plate being eaten by the so-called American people. The American people are being fed their own citizens, and they're being led to a greater slaughter because there is a genocide approaching. Now, if they have already been desensitized to the point where they're having people showing you pictures of people's bodies laying in pools of blood, and they tasting it, and they doing all of this wickedness in your face, they've already been desensitized for murder. It's going to be nothing for them to chop off our heads and taste our blood and eat our flesh, because they've been doing it for years. What will gross you out is a delicacy to them. They love so-called Mexicans. They love to eat so-called blacks. They love to eat so-called Puerto Ricans. I can only now understand why they cause chaos in all of these countries and these children disappear. I can see now why the reason for democracy to spread through warfare, because it is a means and way of hunting down souls so that they can have something to eat. We are being eaten worldwide. Wake up to the reality of the Bible. For those of you that don't believe this book is real, read Micah chapter 3, verse 1 through 3, and then call Brother Abe and tell him thank you if it has awakened you and opened your eyes to reality. We are goyim in their eyes. We are cattle. They stated it and they said it time and time again, and it went right over your head. When the Jewish powers call us goyim, our cattle, what do we do with cattle? Do we slaughter cattle just like he said? Do we cut up cattle just like he said? Did Micah 3:3 tell you that they chop up our bones, ask for the pot, that they fillet us, our skin? And what do you think that they do with the blood? He told you that they drain it and put it in their matzo balls at Passover. But I'm here today to let you know he was being nice with that. They drinking our blood every day. We are a delicacy. They don't want shark. They don't want octopus. They don't want cows, and they don't want sheep. They don't want donkeys, and they don't want eagles. They don't want flying birds that nest and lay eggs. They don't want elephants, and they don't want giraffe. They're not hunting the bald eagle, nor the eagle that layeth in the grass. My friend, it is me and it is you that are being hunted. That's right, just like in the movie Hunger Games. You and I must wake up to this reality that the world is not what you think it is. That where you live is not where you think it is. Knowing this should also allow you to know and understand that every Sunday in the Christian church, they being reprogrammed to stay still and wait for the abduction. Oh, you better come on up out of here. You're being programmed through Republican and Democrat. You're being programmed that America is great. America, America. You're being programmed while we are being eaten. We're being hunted down by predators, and we're being eaten. They showed you in the movie The Predator, where he took the spines and the heads out of the bodies of men and he dragged off the bodies. Brothers and sisters, wake up This is Eldar Yield from One Nation, One Power, letting you know that good old Abe Finkelstein is telling you the truth. Their desire is human flesh and human blood. Serve the Most High, because He is our only protection from the wicked. Shalom.
When I say Hebrews, I mean myself. Praying, cause I can't redeem myself. 5.